Well, hello, it's Claire Obermarck here. We're back by the river, and I wanted to tell you another water story, this time from Cameroon, a Cameroonian folktale. And it's about a little girl called Umbango, and her mother dies. And after her mother dies, she's left to live with her auntie and her cousin. But of course, her auntie doesn't think that Umbango is very important or as good as her own daughter, and they treat her very harshly, very, very unfairly. And she has to do all of the cleaning and all of the cooking. And every morning she's sent down to the river with the calabash to collect the water for the cooking and the drinking that day. And if she doesn't do it quickly, she's beaten. Well, this particular morning, when Umbango goes down to the banks of the river, it's quite muddy, it's been raining, it's monsoon season, and she slips on mud, and the calabash goes flying through the air and splashes into the river. And the current is strong from the recent rains, and it carries the calabash swiftly down the river. And all Umbango can do is run along beside it, really hoping that it gets caught in some reeds or gets washed up along to the sides of the river so she can reach in and maybe grab it, get a stick and knock it towards her. But no such luck. It just keeps going, and she's running faster and faster. And then she sees a dark spot in the middle of a river with a circle around it, a whirlpool. And she sees some other objects going around and around in the circle and then disappearing under the water. And that's exactly what happens to the calabash. It goes around and round in a circle and then sucks down through the whirlpool. Well, she knows she's going to get a beating, and she doesn't think twice. She dives straight into the water and she swims towards that whirlpool herself. And she spins around and around in a great circle, and then she goes nearer and nearer the centre, and it sucks her under, straight under the water. But, instead of flailing around and drowning in the whirlpool, she finds herself floating gently to the bottom of the riverbed. And she finds herself dry, not wet, and able to breathe and stand up. And there, to her great astonishment, she's surrounded by a village, very much like her own. The only difference is when she looks up, there's no sky. She can just see the top of the water and the top of the swirling whirlpool. Well, she looks around and she sees a calabash on the floor not far from her feet. But then she sees an old, crooked, bent-over lady, and the old woman has also seen the calabash, and she walks towards it and instinctively just picks it up. "Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me," says Umbango. That's my calabash. I really need to collect the water. I need to get it back to my aunt today, or she'll be very angry." "Oh," said the old lady, "but I really need a calabash too. And it's so nice, and it's such a great size." "Yes, it is. It's great," said Umbango, "but I'm sorry, I really need to take it back from you. Maybe we could come to an agreement. Maybe in exchange for me being able to go back with my calabash, I could help you for the day, and spend the day with you and do some housework for you." Said the old lady. "This sounds like a good plan." And so they went into the old lady's house, and indeed, Umbango spent the whole day looking after her and cleaning. She did laundry, cleaned the floors, cleaned the windows, got everything spick and span. And at the end of the day, she said, "Right, well, it's been lovely to spend the day with you, but I need to go back now." And the old lady said, "Well, I can't let you go without getting you something to eat. You've been such a joy to be around, and you've helped me a great deal. Please accept some food before you go." "Okay," said Umbango, "thank you." She was actually really hungry. Well, the old lady set the table, and she bought spoons and plates and everything that was required. And then Umbango looked down, and instead of seeing some food, she just saw a great plate of pig dung. Well, she couldn't eat the pig dung, but she couldn't either be nasty to the old lady who looked so pleased. Well, so instead she decided to be polite. She picked up a piece of the pig dung and raised it to her mouth. "Thank you," she said, looking at the old lady. And as soon as she did that, the old lady clicked her fingers, and all of the food turned into the most delicious fish stew. Mbango's favourite. It was lovely. Well, she had a great meal, and then she thanked the old lady, and the old lady said, you take these with you. When you get home, crack them on the kitchen floor. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And she handed her 3 eggs. Well, she thanked her. She swam up to the top of the whirlpool, came above, and then she swam along the stream and went back home. Well, her auntie was absolutely furious. She'd been away all day and towards the evening. So she picked up a stick instantly to start beating her. No, said Mbango, I have something to show you. And she told the auntie what happened and the village below the whirlpool. And she took the 3 eggs. And the first one she smashed on the kitchen floor, and out came silver chains. The second egg she smashed upon the kitchen floor, and out came gold nuggets. And the third egg she smashed up on the floor, and out came diamonds. Well, this was too much for the auntie. She immediately asked her own daughter to go back and collect as many eggs as she could find. So her cousin pushed past her out of the kitchen and ran down to the river. She threw the calabash into the water. She let it run along the river until it got to the whirlpool. It went through the whirlpool, down the hole, under the water, and her cousin jumped in, swam towards the whirlpool, and then let herself go round and around in a circle and get sucked under herself. She went down into the village. She stood up. She was completely dry. She could breathe, and when she looked up, instead of seeing the sky, she saw the top of the water and the raging, spiralling whirlpool. And then she saw an old lady walk towards the calabash and go to pick it up. "Oi, you!" she said brusquely to the lady. "That's my calabash." "Oh, I'm sorry," said the old lady. "Well, maybe you'd like to come and sit with me for a while, and we can talk about this." "I don't need to do anything," said the cousin. "Are you the one with the eggs? I want some eggs." "Oh, then you had indeed better come with me," said the old lady, and she led her to her house. And she asked the cousin if she wanted something to eat, for the house was already spick and span, and Mbango had cleaned it all. "Yes, I'm hungry. Give me something," said the cousin. So the old lady spread out the lovely table, put all the bits and bobs on the table for food, and then the cousin saw that it was pig dung on her plate. "Ugh, I can't eat this, you stupid old woman," she said, and hurled the plate across the room, and it smashed against the wall, and the pig dung fell down to the floor. "I'm not eating this. Are you mad? Are you trying to kill me or something? Give me your eggs, you stupid woman." Well, the old lady passed Mbango's cousin 3 eggs. "There you go," she said. And Mbango's cousin, without a word of thanks, snatched the 3 eggs, left the village, swam back up towards the top, and came out of the whirlpool and back up onto the side of the river and ran home. I've got them," she cried. We're rich, mother." And she smashed the first egg on the floor, and out came spiders. And she smashed the second egg on the floor, and out came scorpions. And she smashed the third egg on the floor, and out came deadly snakes. And Mbango's aunt and her cousin were so feared and afraid they ran away from that place, never to be seen again. But Mbango still had her golden nuggets, her diamonds and her silver chains, and she bought herself a nice wee place, and she lived there forever, and she's still there now. And that's the end of my tale, and that can be found in Emmanuel Matatiu's Myths and Legends from Cameroon. And I got that story from Larry Dunn. Bye bye.